Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Hello, everyone. It's always such a joy to be with you here on this wonderful Friday. I'm sure many of you are happy that it's Friday as well. Sorry we're a little late, little technical glitch, but what would life be without them? Excuse my hoarse voice. I've been talking so much, so excuse that. But anyway, thank you and welcome again to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. And of course, we are broadcasting live on the wonderful United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. Today, I have a topic that I'm really excited and a guest that I'm truly excited as well. She is in the know. She is wonderful. I read her book, loved it. So let me ask you this. What if unlocking just 13 keys could completely shift the way that you see yourself, the world, and the life that you are capable of living? Today, Raechel Henderson, the author behind these transformative insights, joins us to reveal the hidden truths, practical lessons, and powerful perspectives that challenge convention and awaken possibilities in your life. Whatever you felt in the past, there's more to life than meets the eye. Or maybe you've wondered how ancient wisdom can guide modern living. This conversation is packed with stories, strategies, and revelations that could quite possibly change everything you thought you knew. So, without further ado, let me welcome Raechel.
Hello, it's nice to see you. And
So
thank you for
nice to.
having me here.
Oh, it's a blessing. Thank you. Thank you. And from time to time, you're going to see me say hello to folks as they pop in the chat. So um, they do filter in and you'll see them in the chat on the side there. I didn't
Oh,
want you
that's
to think
great.
I was talking to nobody, but there are people that will
I don't
pop in.
judge.
Awesome. Awesome. I do talk to myself, but that's a whole nother chapter, right? Anyway, I read your book and I really did love it and enjoy it. And I thought we could start with you talking about yourself and your journey to where you are today and what prompted you to write the book. You know, we can get into that. Mish, blessings, dear friend. So awesome to see you. So yeah, let's start with that, Raechel. And tell us about yourself and how you ended up where you are today.
Um, okay, so I um started off I was born into a family. My parents are not religious at all. Uh it was my grandmother who took me to church. She raised me First Baptist.
Mm,
And in that time, I was really into the church. Like, I taught Vacation Bible School, I went to church camp, um, and I spent a lot of time thinking about what it meant to be spiritual and what it meant to be religious. And one of the things that I realized is I never really felt what uh, I didn't feel spiritual when I was in the church. Where I felt it was when I was in nature,
mm,
like when I'd go to church camp and we'd be out up on the mountain camping in the middle of a forest. That's where I felt uh, a connection with something bigger than me. And I left my hometown, went to college, did not keep up with going to church, and I came across Scott Cunningham's books. Who he was an author on Wicca, and he's a Wiccan, or was a Wiccan, and that kind of introduced me to this concept of nature-based religions and nature-based faith. And so I'm a pagan. I call myself a witch. I am a witch. I've been working on it as a witch for about 20 plus years,
mhm,
and I was looking for something that was much more personal and much more aligned with my ethics and my morals than what uh, I was seeing, especially in the greater Christian conservative movement that I was raised in. And so where I am today is I'm a pagan. I work with Hestia, who is the Greek goddess of the hearth. Um, I very much am rooted in nature spirituality, connecting to the earth, connecting to the seasons and the environment around me. And that's sort of nature is my church. That's
Mm.
where I find my roots now.
Wonderful. So, what brought you to write the book? Was it something you were like compelled, you felt compelled to do?
Um, I actually, the book originated in uh, lessons that I wanted to teach my daughter. What as she was growing up, I wanted to be like, these are important to me. So kindness, confidence, responsibility, that sort of thing, um, was resilience. I wanted her to know these things as she was growing up. And as I was writing it, I thought, this could be helpful for other people. Also, because a lot of uh, people my age who are into paganism and witchcraft, uh,
Yeah.
they the first books that they read that were introduced them to the path were written like 20 years ago. And I would have friends come up to me and say, I have someone I want to recommend a beginner witchcraft book to. What one should I do? Because what are some new ones out? And I was like, oh, there's not a lot. uh, most of the books that are being published now, they specialize, and
Mm,
there's a lot out there for people with more experience. And I thought I could write something for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, who feels like there's something out there for them, they just don't know what it is, and that this would give them the opportunity to build a practice that is personalized and individualized to themselves. So that's why I came to write the book, was just I kind of want to help people be the best witch that they can be,
yeah,
and be one that aligns with their ethics and their morals.
that's beautiful. I love that. Hello, Heidi, my star sister. Love her dearly. No worries. As long as you're here, Heidi, it's all that matters. Um, I think that witches get and have gotten such a bad rap throughout history. And you go through some of that, the history in your book. Do you still think that they experience that today? That do you ever get any prejudice or comments when you tell people that you're a practicing pagan?
Um, I nowadays don't get that kind of pushback, but I do know that witches everywhere still get a lot of pushback. I mean, we have right now there is a woman or a person who runs a metaphysical store in Pennsylvania who is fighting the Pennsylvania government because there's a law on the books that outlaws tarot readings. And they
What?
were told that, yeah, it's on the books. It's from like the 1800s. It makes tarot reading illegal or fortune telling illegal, and they've been threatened with going to jail for doing this. So prejudice is still, and it's even worse outside of the U.S., where you have places,
Oh
uh, you
yeah.
know, uh, countries in Africa, countries in other parts of the world where it's illegal, or people can get, attacked and worse for being witches, or even for being accused of being witches, because you don't even have to actually be practicing for that to be an issue, which is what happened in back in the Middle Ages, where people would get just have the accusation of being a witch was enough for them to suffer consequences. So
Oh,
yeah, I feel like there is still. yeah, there's still very much prejudice against it. I think that it has gotten uh, more mainstream and more people
Yeah.
know about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, there are certain places where you can't, even in the US, you can't openly practice your faith for fear of repercussions.
Now I live in Pennsylvania. What town or county is that store in? Because I've never heard of that before.
Um, the store is called the Serpent's Key. I can't remember exactly where what town it is, but the
Serpent's Key?
proprietor's name is Beck, and it's the Serpent's Key. And they are, engaged in a legal battle with the
Oh, I see that now. That's right in Hanover,
yeah.
not too far from me. Wow, I'm shocked. That is not good. So
Yeah,
there's
and
a shocked.
when you tell people that, they're like you, they're like, it's illegal. And yeah, and so I feel like that's part of my book too, is to explain that it's okay. It's okay to call yourself a witch. Be aware that there may be times that you might want to keep that information to yourself. Uh, and it's okay if you have to do that for your own safety too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you talk about the personal and the private in your book as well. And I don't blame you guys for doing that. And I just think it's so sad because I don't know if it's more historical and people are still carrying that over because you would think that we would be more progressive in accepting, various ideologies and religions, but instead I think it's actually going backwards in many ways, and that's so tragically sad. What can you tell us about witches and to demystify the the perceptions of them? Like people think, they hear the word witch and they think, oh, satanic, she's going to put a spell, cast a spell on me. Let us know what some of the foundations of morals and values are of pagans.
Yeah. So, I mean, and again, and I'm just one person, I don't represent the entirety of it, but paganism and also witchcraft is very much a nature based. So, it's very much the idea of being connected to nature, respecting the earth, being in tune with the cycle of the seasons. It
Mm,
has nothing to do with Satanism, or there's not, in paganism, there is not that kind of idea of that there's good and evil. There's nature and there's and with all that entails. And I think that yeah, there has been a lot of backlash against witches and paganism over the last couple of years, and I think that that's just a response to, for a while, there was more acceptance to it, and so you have a very vocal minority who pushes back against that, and who then makes it and tries to make the case for not accepting that. And it's not just witches or witchcraft. I mean, you see that for uh, Muslims, you see that for Buddhism, you see that for other
Jewish
basically
people,
non-Christian,
yeah,
yeah,
Jewish
non-Christian religions, which is really sad because I see that a lot of people um, go to paganism or to witchcraft from Christian spaces.
yeah,
And so I think that there is absolutely a way there that you could have general connection and genuine um, just getting along, because you have people who've been in one sphere and gone to another. Uh,
yeah,
and right now, it just feels like there's a lot of um, inability to do that. These
yeah,
barriers are up that people are unwilling to overcome.
yeah. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of witches on my podcast that follow Jesus. They believe
Oh, yeah.
in Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there are Christian witches, and there are, witches of all stripes,
Mm.
because witchcraft, it's it's a belief system, but it's not a religion. So you can be a witch and be any of these other religions. That there really isn't, uh, it isn't forbidden or not something that you can do.
And I think even in today's media, like I remember when the president was running for office, they had news stories all over saying that a bunch of witches on Etsy cast a spell on Donald Trump. And they did it in such a negative light. So, like, the point I'm trying to make is that instead of talking about something good witches do, like pray for healing or something like that, they just choose to show the negative rather than the positive.
Yeah, and that's to sell newspapers. That's just, get people
Yeah,
to watch it. I
but
think
it
what we
hurts.
tend
It
Yeah,
hurts the whole. Yeah,
I think what people tend to forget is that witches, historically, have been, members of society. They have been your doctors, they've been your midwives, they've been your counselors. They provided services that
yeah,
we didn't necessarily have at a time when we needed them, and, they can perform the same, uh, services today. Most witches are not, a lot of witches believe in the rule of three, which is basically this belief that anything you put out in the universe, will come back to you threefold. So a lot of
oh,
witches, because of that, do not hex because they are afraid that that will bounce back on them.
yeah,
And most witches that I know that do hex, when they are prompted or when they feel the need to, go through all sorts of, uh, inner work before they even that's like a last resort. Um, they look at, is it justified? Am I in the right space to do that? What else have I done to clarify the situation beforehand? What
mm,
have I done to, address the problem in other ways before I turn to magic? And a lot of witches I know don't that isn't part of their practice. Their practice is, yes, saying prayers for healing, doing healing spells, doing prosperity spells. A lot of them, tend to, just spend their time, engaging with nature and the environment, spending time observing
yeah,
the moon, that sort of
yeah,
thing. It's not, again, there's not this the idea of good and evil isn't really doesn't enter into the equation.
yeah. That's good that you reiterated that. Heidi, is the chat still frozen? If someone could tell me, that's not going to be a good thing. I hope it's not frozen. Sometimes it does that and then it works. So we'll just wait. We'll just wait
Technical
and see.
difficulties.
Always, always technical, always. Especially when there's like solar flares. It's like crazy time. Oh, good. I guess it's working. I see. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah. Okay, I think it's good to go. So you talk about these 13 keys in your book. Can you just kind of give us an overview of what they are and how you developed them?
Oh, absolutely. Um, these 13 keys, they are attributes. They are characteristics that for myself personally, and what I have seen in other people, are parts of being a person, but being a witch in particular. So things like being resilient, being confident, being respectful, being kind. These are all characteristics that you can incorporate into your practice and that you can work on, that give you a pathway to saying, this is what my practice looks like. This is what it individually means to me to be a witch. This is it leads you to make those decisions of, am I going to hex? Am I not going to hex? what kind of magic do I feel comfortable doing? What kind of magic uh, do I not feel comfortable doing? Um, where is my focus? What kind of witch am I? And the whole idea is that these characteristics are things that you can implement in your life. They are all things, they're not intrinsic. It's not you either have them or you don't. They're all things that you can build upon and incorporate in your life to then
Wonderful.
inform your practice. And that's what the book does, is it goes over, it has exercises in it to help you then build on these aspects and build on these fundamentals.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Hello, Michelle. Thank you so much. Um, so can a non-practicing pagan benefit from that? From
Oh,
what you've written in your book?
absolutely, absolutely. It is, well, I say that it's, again, it's framed as, for witches and witchcraft. Um, a lot of these go into things like, your family history, your, where because a lot of people, especially a lot of white people in America, we don't have a very good sense of our ancestry,
Mm,
especially if you've been in America for many, many generations. Maybe you kind of know where your family came from, uh, but a lot of us don't. Like, I joke that my family sprung up from beer nuts that were strewn across the Great Plains. They've been my family, my aunt and my sister have done some genealogy research, but for the most part, like, we have this vague notion of like Dutch and German. Uh,
yeah.
and I think that it benefits people to look into that and say, okay, where am I coming from? Where are my roots? And what were their beliefs and what were their practices?
Mm,
To then give you, so uh, if you don't know where to start, looking at that family history can be helpful. I also go into, sometimes that's not, uh, it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you
yeah.
might be estranged from your family. It might bring up trauma, and so what to do in that case. But if you are a non-practicing pagan, this is the book gives you the tools to then say, what do I want my practice to look like? um they're like, the book doesn't have a lot of spells in it. It's more of a, we're going to work through, I'm going to sit with you, we're going to work through this, and you're going to come up with the answers on your own, as opposed to me
Mm.
handing out answers.
Yeah, which is nice, which is nice. Hey, Mish, what you mean by that? Living in the Southern Hemisphere, it's interesting being which I guess it is. It is, right? I guess it's very interesting. And it's just I always find it because I believe in reincarnation, absolutely. And I've done quantum healing sessions that have showed me that in the past I was absolutely a pagan and I had a whole life review kind of thing during that time. So I feel very connected to that whole sect of people, even though I'm not a practicing witch. Um, but my heart has such a space for them, I think, based on my own lineage, you know? And it's
Yeah.
funny how you can feel that pain almost that they've been through and that they're going through. And then I don't think TV helps either. There's a show on TV right now. I forget what it's called, A Witch is Something. And of course it's these poor witches are being hunted and hung and tortured. It's just awful. They need to change their whole like perspective when they do these television shows. I mean, they do show them in a good light, but there's always that that they're being attacked and treated unfairly and hunted and I don't know. I don't think TV and the movies really does any good for pagans.
I think witchcraft provides a very easy way to illustrate the plight of minorities, and oppressed people. It's
Yeah.
it gives people a language that
Yeah.
uh, they can speak, and so that's why it's easy for television media to use that. And then yeah, there was Charmed. There's been a lot
Yes,
of
Charmed was a
other
good
good
one.
media. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's been
Charmed,
a
I
lot of other
forgot
good
about that.
media that talks about witches in a much more positive light. Um, I think that, in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had a lot of really good media that explored witchcraft and witches as characters as opposed to being caricatures of
Yeah,
what we think witches are.
yeah. Anybody in your family practices as well, or is it just you?
It's just me. My grandmother, till the day she died, she was a staunch Christian, but that didn't stop her from being very supportive of me. She loved all
Oh,
my books
that's
that I
good.
wrote. She would always say, I'd send her my books, and she'd always say, "You're such a good writer." And she was always very supportive, which again is one of those reasons why I think uh, that there shouldn't be such a great divide between Christians and other religions and witches especially, because I think that there are lots of ways that we can appreciate each other and we can come together, um,
Yeah.
that doesn't have to deal with that doesn't have to bring in obstacles that often get thrown up in between the two.
Do people need to really have a good understanding of how to work their energy in order to be a witch? You mentioned it's not easy. It's not, and you have to repeat things. You have to be repetitive. Like, what's the most powerful thing that you've witnessed as a witch that you've done for yourself personally?
Oh, so this is going to sound silly,
No?
but one of the things that I do is I often go to, before I was a writer, I worked as a seamstress.
Oh,
And I would go to conventions and sell like accessories and costuming and the like. And then now what I do is I will go to events and sell my books. And it's very simple, it's silly, but I have a little jar that I have that has rice and coins and mint in it, and I keep it in my booth, and I will shake it. It's my money jar. And I shake it to get people to come to my booth. And it's the simplest little spell, but it is has great impact. I shake that money jar, people come up to my booth. I talk to them and I sell them my books. Um
wow.
and I've done other magics. I've done a lot of magic for um as like employment spells for friends, for healing spells for friends, helping friends with who are in toxic, negative environments, helping them to protect themselves. Again, it's my magic. I focus on helping people as much as
Mm,
possible. That doesn't mean that I haven't, on occasion, used my magic to get justice for things, um, but I'm very intentional with it. Do you need to know how to focus your energy and use it? Yes. But that's something anybody can do. It is not something that either you're born with it or not, and you don't have it. Uh, the biggest tool for a witch is their intention. And what I mean by that is you clearly define what it is that you want to do. What is going to be the goal of this spell? And that intention then is um uh the intention is the arrow that you shoot that
yeah.
leads your spell and your energy to what it needs to be.
Yeah, it's the
Um
catalyst, right?
yeah, that's the
It's the
catalyst.
yeah.
And so
Alright,
I'm
we have a
reading here, what's
yeah,
the
we have a great
ratio?
question. I was just gonna ask you this, what's the ratio of ingredients for the money jar?
So my money jar, I have a little tiny, it was a jam jar from a long time ago. Any little jar or any jar really will work. I fill it up. I what I did is I put my coins in first. I have a bunch of coins just from all over the world that I've collected over the years. I throw those in there. Then I add a handful or so of dried mint, and then I fill it up the rest of the way with rice, leaving just about a little bit before of airspace so that it can move around. And then I just tighten the lid, and whenever I am like I need to bring money into space, I shake the jar and I set that intention. And what you do is you visualize how that money is going to come to you. So when I'm
Mm.
working at events and I'm shaking that jar, I'm visualizing people coming up to my booth, people handing me their cards for money, people um, taking the books. So if you're doing this at home, you would take the jar and you would shake it, and you're envisioning maybe you're getting a raise at work. Maybe you are uh, finding some money on the street, or somebody lends you, or you get a loan, or something like that. You get a side hustle that you're now bringing money in that way. It's intentions are, yes, as it says here, intentions are huge. Um, Intention and imagination. And I think that a lot of people, one of the things with witchcraft is people think, oh, it's imagination, so you're just making it up. And yeah, that's the whole point, is you're visualizing and you're intending on a result, and you're using your imagination to clearly see what that result is going to be, and you're using those two together in order to send that intention out into the world so that it will manifest.
Yeah,
Um,
it's very similar to the law of attraction, except pagans are using earthly things, elements to kind of empower them along the way. Um, I love that concept. Like I love, having that visual jar next to me full of money, coins, and rice and mint, and use that as like an affirmation every day to like draw my energy into, bringing myself more money. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting yourself.
and
So,
And the thing is there's a second part of that though. And that's what I talk about in my book, is the second part of that is you need to do the mundane actions to support your magic. Just just if I'm just sitting there shaking the jar and not doing anything else, not engaging with people, not going to the events, not talking
right.
to people, that's not going to work. If you're shaking the jar and you're like, I'm going to get a raise, if you're not doing the things, or I need to get a job. And so you do a spell to get a job, and you're not putting out your resume, you're not applying for jobs, you're just sitting on your couch waiting for a job to fall in your lap. Your magic
Of
is not
course.
going to be as
Of
successful.
course.
You're
Of
basically
course.
dragging it down. So I think that's where a lot of witches get hung up, is they think that all they have to do is do the spell and they don't have to do anything else. But magic
Right.
is in support of your efforts. It's a support effort. It is not the effort on its own.
I love that, Rochelle. That is so spot on. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, think about when you're praying too. You're taking your energy and you're manifesting and directing your energy into, your desires, right? It's all the same thing, just wrapped in different paper. That's how I see it.
Um, it's basically how your brain works.
Yeah.
If it's more
Right.
understandable to you to couch it as prayer, that's
Right.
great.
Right.
It's everybody is different. That's what basically the theme of the book is everybody's different. That's why you need to find a personal practice, something that works for you. Because if you're doing stuff that you don't like to do, if you're doing it because, oh, witch talk told me I should be a kitchen witch, but you hate cooking, your magic isn't going to be as successful, because the internal feelings you have towards your actions is going to drag it down, and
Mm.
so it's not going to be as effective.
I never heard of that, a kitchen witch. That is so cute. What?
Kitchen
I
witch
love
is a
that.
witch who works with herbs, puts their magic in their cooking, works in the kitchen, and it is a very popular form of witchcraft. I've been known to dabble in some kitchen witchery myself. Um, and but there are some people who are like, I will burn water. I can't. cook at all. And so telling them that they would have
Yeah.
to, that the
Yeah.
only kind of witchcraft that works out there is kitchen witchery is not going to help them.
Yeah. It's funny because I think all chefs are kitchen witches because that's exactly what they're doing. They're
Yeah,
taking ingredients and they're, creating something out of love and it's just so interconnected, I think.
absolutely.
Oh, Mish says she uses Reiki when cooking. Oh, wow. All these great ideas. Do you use Reiki at all, Rochelle? Or
No, I don't. I do. I have done
yes.
the long distance
Yeah.
Reiki, but I'm not an energy worker, so that's not really where my focus is. But I have known energy workers. I think that's really interesting using Reiki while cooking. That's
Yeah.
not a
I could see
combination I'd
that.
ever heard of before.
Yeah, I could see that. And it's so interesting because even if you just take your two hands and you put them very close together, you can feel your own energy. Like I feel mine immediately. So
Hmm.
why not, use that in that's a form of Reiki, really, just manifesting your own energy, whether you use it for healing. I mean, you can use it really, I would think, in anything you do. I saw you wrote a book on sewing and witchery, right? That was so
Yeah,
cute. How
yeah.
did you connect those 2?
I call myself a witchcrafter.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm
so cool.
all about uh that's how my magic manifests is in creating physical objects. So again, I started off as a seamstress. Basically back in 2008, I got divorced and I had a 4-year-old daughter and I had been out of the workforce since she was born. And this is 2008 where there's this whole economic collapse.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, I need something to support myself and my daughter until at least she gets into school. So I had been sewing, so I started sewing for friends. And as I was sewing, I would incorporate magic into my sewing. So, like when I was sewing things for sale, I would use pins that had green heads to get that
Mm,
money abundance magic in. I would like use a dry erase marker and I would write sigils on my sewing machine
mm,
to help me aid me in my progress and in my work. And uh, so witchy was my own personal grimoire of sewing magic, and I, on a whim, submitted it to Llewellyn because I was like, "Well, I have all this. I think it would make kind of a neat book. I'll see what they say." And they immediately responded back and said, "Yes, we would love to publish this." And so that was the start of my shift from being a seamstress to being a writer. And I was like, "Oh, people like people like what I write, so I'm going to keep writing." Basically.
how many books did you write?
Okay, so in the last since 2017, I've written 6 witchy
Wow.
books. 5 of them, or no, 7 witchy books, 5 which have been published by Llewellyn. And then on my other side, I with my husband, I write tabletop RPGs. So I've also written 4 of those.
What exactly are those?
Okay, so tabletop RPGs are like Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, gotcha.
We are big gaming nerds, and
Ah,
so, I do that with my husband, on
well, that's
the other
fun.
half of what I do. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's fun. Do you do cosplay too or just
I did for a very long time. I haven't in the last few years, mostly because I've been focusing on, the writing, but I'm
yeah.
excited this year we're gonna get back into more gaming stuff, so yeah, then I'm gonna be doing some costuming, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. Um, did you discover these keys gradually or did you have like a download of information? I mean, I know you said you wanted to use them for your daughter primarily to teach her the morals and values and stuff, but did they come to you like an epiphany or did you write them down as you discovered them?
So, the first 10 Um, a couple of them came to me just over time, uh, but most of them, I just one day I was like, oh, I just sat down and wrote down 10 characteristics that I was kind of piggybacking off of these couple that had come up over time. And then I was like, wait a second, let's dig deeper into this. And
Mm,
what I did is I sat down, I'm like, okay, let's think about my life. Let's think about what my practice is and what I'm trying to teach my daughter. And by the end, and I started just kind of writing. And by the end of that, I had 13 and started diving into that. What do these mean? What do they mean for me? What would they mean for my daughter? But what do they
mm,
mean in the wider world of um, witchcraft? And are these truly things that would be universal or would be helpful to other people? So it
yeah.
was one of those things where it was gradual at first, and then once the idea popped in my head of, oh, wait a second, this is I think this is important. Because I've had books come to me before, like my third book is called The Scent of Lemon and Rosemary, and it's about working with the Greek goddess Hestia to make your home a safe and welcoming place. And that
Oh,
came to me because I had been working with Hestia for a couple years, and she was like, I need you to write a book about me and about uh, what with me means. And since she's the goddess of the hearth and about home and family, that was pretty much it was just her tapping me on the shoulder and saying, please write a book about me. And I was
how
like, okay.
tell us about Hestia. Tell us more about her. How did you connect with her? Do you connect with her daily? Like, what's the story there?
So back in the late 90s, when I was starting my journey into witchcraft and into paganism, I picked up a book that was like had a bunch of goddesses listed. And as I'm flipping through it, I came across Hestia. And she just clicked with me because having grown up in a household where I never felt safe or comfortable, and then also being in a relationship at that time that was not safe, having coming across a goddess who was all about the family and safety and home uh, was something I desperately wanted.
Yeah.
And for several years I just had that at the back of my head that this is what I want, but I wasn't in a place where I could fully explore that relationship because I was spending all my time basically in survival mode.
Oh,
So it wasn't until after my divorce that I came back and I was like, okay, I want to have a relationship with this goddess because I am living I'm in a home. It's a broken home because I'm divorced and I have my daughter, and I want to make sure that we are happy and healthy. And so I started doing more research on Hestia. I began my practice with her. I My practice looks like when I'm cooking, I always set aside some ingredients for her because she is the goddess who gets the first and the last in not sacrifices, but in uh, contributions.
like offerings? Yeah.
Offerings. Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Um, I have this tiny little Hestia Playmobil doll that a friend sent me a few years ago. She sits in my kitchen with a little tiny offering bowl. I talk to her a lot. I have a very deep uh it's a relationship where I feel comfortable talking to Hestia and her talking back to me, and it's supportive, and I will say, "Hey, I'm going through a rough time right now." Or, "Hey, I had a really great day. This was a good day." I work with her, I don't worship her. Having come from
Oh,
a Christian background, there is often this yep, there she is. There is often this reluctance to talk about worshiping when you get into pagan spaces, although some
Mm,
pagans do worship various deities. But I work with her. She is my, she gives me advice, she gives me support. It's very similar to, say, guardian angels, kind of that relationship. Um,
so obviously she's a Greek goddess, which
yep,
most are. Very interesting.
yep, she's Greek. There's a Roman counterpart called Vesta, which is basically the same thing, just Roman. And yeah, I feel that having worked with her, that my life is much more has a deepness to it, and it gives me some support when I might not feel that I have support in other ways.
Nice. Now it says here her powers are she keeps peace, maintains the fire and the flame. There you go, cooking powers. Oh, and here's her offerings: garnet, chamomile, peonies, bread, milk, and cooking herbs. Her symbols are the hearth, the sacred flame, fire, tea kettle. Oh, so she's really hearth and home, huh?
Yep, that is.
Resolving family troubles, cheating. Oh, sorry, not cheating. Creating a sacred home, house, hunting, inner work. Wow. I'm very impressed with that.
She's very, and she's a much underrated and not often talked about goddess. There isn't a lot of
Yeah.
information about her out there. Uh, and I just find a lot of it's very satisfying, and it's deeply impacting for me to have that relationship with her.
Nice. I like that. Do you connect with any other gods as well, or just primarily her?
I have worked in the past for a little bit. I worked with Hecate for a very short time amount of time. It was just for about a year and a day, and there was a very specific purpose for that working relationship. I also have a spirit helper called Turtle, who has been with me since I was in high school. I just
Oh,
didn't realize what that presence was until much later. Um, but those
did you
are the, go
did
ahead.
you ever have any paranormal experiences as a child or as an
I
adult?
No, not so much. Not as a child. I was an odd child, so which I think all of us kind of, once we get into
Definitely.
these paths, we all were. But
Absolutely.
no, I've never really had uh paranormal experiences. I think I'm very earth centered, like have the earth element, and I feel like that tends to kind of preclude me from paranormal experiences.
Yeah.
Um, but have I in the past had moments where I thought, okay, this is an experience that cannot be explained by science?
Mhm.
Absolutely. I will occasionally have go into places and have a feeling where I'm like, oh, okay, I think there's something going on here, and it's not my business, and I will back
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Um, and again, this gets into the what are you comfortable with when
Yeah.
it comes to witchcraft and magic. If you are not comfortable with dealing with paranormal, that's totally okay.
Right.
And I recommend that one of the things that anybody who wants to follow this path learns protective spells, learns protective boundaries so that you can put that boundary up to keep you safe. um, Working with spirits, working with the paranormal takes a certain mastery
Yeah.
and a certain confidence that I think uh, you should have powerful protections up before you decide to work
Oh,
with that.
God, yeah. I mean, I
Um,
won't go into Walmart without putting a golden dome of protection over me because it's and I have talked about this before. It's just an example of a place that I don't really like to shop. So before I go in there, I always take a minute to like ground myself because, stuff happens in these stores with a lot of people and there's a lot of commotion and action. And so, yeah, before you leave the house, you should do a grounding ritual of some type, I believe.
Oh yeah, Walmart is very energetically chaotic.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's one of the things I talk about in the book too is, learning how to make those boundaries and protecting yourself. I think a lot of people tend to walk around very open energetically, and
Yes.
then bring that home with them,
Oh,
which
yes.
is not helpful at
Not good.
all.
Yeah. Like I've been an empath as far back as I can remember. 4 and 5, I have memories. And I have to be, and it was a learning process to learn how to ground and protect yourself. And for many decades, I didn't, and I suffered the consequences of that. So for folks that, are empaths and feel things deeply, it's even, more important for them to ground themselves in whatever which
Oh
way
yeah.
yeah, they decide to do that. Do you belong to a group of witches that you practice with, or are you kind of on your own solo?
I'm a solitary practitioner. I most of that is because uh for the longest time either I was in a place where there weren't any other practitioners or I was not in a place where I could um connect with other people.
Yeah.
Uh so writing these books has kind of been my way of reaching out to people. I'm
Mm,
on Instagram. I connect with people on there. When I go to things like Pagan Pride, I connect to people there, but I'm not part of like a coven or anything like that. I'm also an introvert.
yeah,
So I go to like conventions and events and I have to put on a mask so that
yeah,
I can interact with people and then I come home and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm gonna veg now. Uh, but I think that it's important to find community where you can.
mm.
And I think that that's one of the great things about the internet these days is if you cannot find a community in your physical location, there are plenty of communities online that you can
Oh,
join.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, so for me, my community is like people on Instagram, people who um, come to me when they've read my books and said, "Oh, I really enjoyed it," or "Oh, I had a question," stuff like that. Um, it's one of the reasons why I try to make myself available as much as possible on
yeah,
Instagram because I think that there is a tendency to feel like you can't ask questions
yeah,
and you can't ask
yeah,
for advice. And so I
mhm,
really want to be opening and welcoming in that respect, because I know what it's like to be on the outside
yeah,
and go, am I going to be welcome? Can I be part of it?
right,
So I always encourage people to, join find a community with the level of involvement that they can engage in. Like you have a really cool community here of people who are, it's obvious that are saying
yeah,
hi and
yeah. Oh,
giving
yeah,
each
no,
other
we're very
hearts and everything.
Yeah, this network is fabulous. And it's funny because your soul always seeks your tribe and you kind of find each other. You know what I mean? If you let it, if you're open to allowing that to happen, and it's a blessing, it's a wonderful thing. And of course, vet people before you let them into your life. Make sure you vet these Facebook groups and do research before you hop in and you're all excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, check them
Absolutely.
out, make sure, because there's a lot of nefarious people out there too, and we
And
need to yeah,
yeah, and um, some groups are not the most healthy, some groups are toxic, so
exactly.
absolutely, you want to take some time, uh,
I
yeah,
have to say
amongst
hello to
the right
Hillbilly
friends.
Herb, we love him. We
Yep,
love his name, we love his presence. He said, "Gotta protect before going to grocery stores and big box stores. They are an emotional trigger war zone. I wear lots of hematite." Oh my god, that's such a great thing to do.
yep,
Get some hematite, right? Thank
Yeah.
you,
No,
Billy, for
that's absolutely true. So yeah, vetting the community that you're looking to join is absolutely, it's part of that protection. Um, it's being proactive.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. What do you do to protect yourself against, because let's face it, everything is binary, everything is opposites. There's dark, there's light, there's good, there's evil, there's everything is its polar opposite, right? So what do you do, if anything, to protect yourself against the darkness in the world? Do you just use grounding rituals, or um have you, because I've spoken to other pagans witches who have said that on social media there was a level of jealousy and they would put like hexes on them and discover that. So this one girl I just recently interviewed mentioned that she found out that she was hexed by some jealous other witch. So you're going to have infighting in any group. I mean, we're human. It's what we do, unfortunately. So what do you do to ground yourself in that way and protect yourself from the dark forces, I guess?
So, for myself personally, I do a lot of, first off, I've got protection spells on my house because this is my space and I don't allow any energies that I don't allow into my space. So I have like
Yeah.
a protection pouch above my door that you come in. I will do regular, I do smoke cleansings that have juniper and cedar in them. So they not only cleanse, but they protect.
Mm.
But I have things like I have jewelry that I, much like the hematite, um, I have jewelry that I have uh, charged with protecting me. I have an oil that I wear. Like before I came on today, I put my oil on
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
because one of the things that I think a lot of people don't realize or don't think about is that people will put protection on their house. They'll put protection on themselves. They never put protection on their internet.
Mm.
And so you will have, I always recommend that people put a protective charm by their router or their modem
Oh
because that
goodness,
is a
that's
huge
a great idea.
conduit into your space. And so just like you would have a firewall and you'd have virus protection, you need to have some ethereal protection there to, because negativity will come in that way. So for people who are looking for ways to protect themselves, get a piece of jewelry that you wear all the time and consecrate that and charge it to be your protective amulet. Get an
Is there
oil.
anything in particular that you put near your router? A particular stone, or just something like you're saying that you charge yourself?
So what I did, because like I said, we moved here in August, and half of our stuff is still back in Wyoming because we couldn't move all of it with us. So most of uh my tools are not here. So when we moved in and got the router set up, what I did is I just went out into the yard and I found myself a nice smooth rock and I brought it in and I charged it and then I wrote a sigil on it
Mm,
to protect it. And I put that by my router. But you can do, there are crystals, like some people here are mentioning putting
yeah,
crystals up.
yeah.
That is, there are crystals that you can use. I mean, a quartz crystal, just a regular white quartz crystal it's like the the Swiss Army knife of crystals. Um,
Yeah.
just put
I
something you
mean,
can
even
put.
Michelle mentioned that she's got 2 crystals on her router. I
Yep,
never thought to do that. Oh, and she charges it in the moon and the sun. Oh,
yep,
I love this group of people. You guys rock. So that you gave
yep.
us some great empowering ideas. Protect your modem, find a sigil or a crystal or something, charge it with your energy for protection, put that near you. And then on your front door, as Hillbilly said, and your back door, put some crystals. You have those crystals too, Rochelle?
I have some crystals in. I got a protection pouch that has a bunch of ingredients in it for protecting. That it's hung over the door, so as you come in underneath it, it helps to kind of energetically clean you and also protect the space from things coming in.
Oh, I
Um,
love that.
yeah. So get yourself, like, there are plenty of crystals that you can find that you could get as jewelry to wear. Um,
I have a lot of crystal bracelets that
yeah.
are meaningful, but I never
Um,
thought to put one by my router. That is so brilliant.
yeah. Get an oil, like an oil that
Yeah,
you like, that you can then put on before you go out. But even like you had mentioned, the golden dome of protection,
yeah.
uh, doing a protective bubble, a white light protective
Yeah,
bubble
yeah.
around you before you leave, that works too.
So Mish says shunganite and organite help negative energy from I'm gonna take a screenshot of that because I'll forget it. Thank you for that. I'm gonna go get some. There's a crystal store not far from here. I love that idea. I just never thought to do that, but
A
I
lot
guess
of
it's
people, no, a lot of
yeah,
people don't think of that. And so this is and you tend people tend to feel like they need to know everything. This is
right,
the other thing. This is why
right.
community is important, because everybody is going to have a uh everybody's going to have their blind spots.
Yes.
And so when we all get together, we can all help each other uh with that.
Hi, CS. Do you know this person? I don't think I've seen this person, but welcome, welcome. He or she, sorry, they they said that AI is not permeable when you get off the phone. Oh, to get off the phone as much as possible. Visualization is well known by AI. Yes, I agree. You know, and that's another thing we have to worry about is the pervasiveness of this artificial intelligence. And I think protecting your router might indeed help with that too. So I love that. Fluorite pendants. Hi, I am a she. Welcome, 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 welcome. Um, yeah, I wanted to ask you about love because a lot of people that I know and talk to via the podcast and the internet in general are struggling trying to find their other half, their soulmate, their partner, whatever. And they're using internet apps to help them connect with people and striking out. They just can't seem to. I know one or two people that met someone and it worked out. But do you have any advice or anything like you gave an example with the money jar, which we love and we're definitely going to do? Love that.
Well, yeah. Um it is the same with any kind of magic you do. You identify what your goal is, which in this case, you need to identify what it is you want in a partner. And I
Okay.
think that where a lot of people strike out is because our society uh, encourages us to find um, a narrow set of characteristics attractive. So when we go into the dating pool, are we actually looking for what would make us happy or what we think should, and what
Yeah,
society tells
that's
us
a good
should make us
point.
happy? And
Good
so when
points.
people are doing magic for love, I think where they get caught up is they don't have a clear goal in mind of, this is the kind of partner I'm looking for. This is what I want. And it's what I personally want, not what society says I should want. And the other half of that is saying also, and this is what I bring to the relationship,
Mm,
because it's a two-way street. And so
absolutely.
um, when you get clear on that, then it's going to make your magic more effective to opening it up. And that also signals to the universe, this is what I'm looking for. And when you send that out, then the universe can, because if you just say, I just want a partner, then sure, the universe is going to be like, okay, here you go, here you go, here you go. And
Yeah.
it's going to be all, it's going to
Yeah.
be a lot of people that are not who you're
A
looking
good
for or not
match.
a good fit.
Yeah.
Right. But when you get specific with magic, when you get specific, and this again is with your intention, being specific is
Mm,
going to be much more helpful
mm,
than just randomly hoping that
yeah.
you'll find the right person by swiping.
How
Um,
can they empower themselves with crystals and magic? Like, is there anything they can do and wear in addition to like having those aspirations and making sure you define them very clearly?
um, what I would say is make yourself a power pouch. And what I mean by this is you're going to get a little pouch, and you can do
Mm,
this as a jar too. I know we witches love our jars, but get a pouch, like a red, just a little red drawstring bag. And you're
okay.
going to sit down and you're going to write out a list of this is what I'm looking for a partner. This is what I bring to a relationship.
Yeah.
And you're going to write that out on a piece of paper. You're going to fold, yeah, a mojo bag, exactly. You're going to fold it up and put that in the bag, and then you're going to add some, maybe some rose quartz, some other
Mm,
crystals for love. You're going to add some herbs, some rose petals, some chamomile, some lavender, and other herbs that are for love. And you're going to then uh, draw it up, and you're going to charge it with your energy of this is what, well, thank you. This
very
is what
nice.
I uh this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm putting out into the world. And then what you're going to do is now you're going to do the underlining mundane actions that's going to support your magic. But you're going to put that pouch and you're going to put it on your altar if you have one.
Mm,
Otherwise, you're going to put it in the place where you make yourself up, where you get dressed, where you put on your, if you're wear makeup, where you're going to put your makeup on, where you get ready to put your presenting face out there,
yeah.
because this is all about I'm putting myself out there. And you're going to
Gotcha.
keep that bag there, and you're going to occasionally pull it out and charge it under the light of the full moon, and you're going to keep it there until you have met someone. You're also going to put a time limit on this spell,
Ah,
because that's the
I love
other
that.
thing, is having a time limit gives you an opportunity to see if the magic worked or not. So say, okay, for the next 3 months, this spell is going to be working to help me find a partner. If at the end of 3 months you haven't found a partner,
Yeah.
that means okay, you need to switch stuff up, and so then you can pull apart your bag and you can start over. But putting a time limit on it is helpful so that you can come back and see if things have improved or not, if the magic
Yeah.
has worked or not.
Yeah.
Um,
I like that. What does Hillbilly say? I made a little pouch using a big leaf and I put some silver crystal beads and tobacco in it. I threw it in the creek for the water spirits. Found a brand new chainsaw on the roadside after.
there we
Oh
go.
my God, Billy, you're freaking amazing. Oh, goodness. You got to love these people. Thank
No,
you for
this is a great
sharing that.
community. Yeah.
Thank you. That's freaking awesome. Um, yeah, I think that it's very empowering to make these little what are they called? The jars and the what are they actually called?
They're just
The
jar
pouch,
spells.
the mojo bags. Is there
Mojo
a
bags for
name?
pouches. For the jars, I don't know. There probably is, though. I'm just not aware of it. I just call them jar spells.
Okay, so I think it's very empowering to create these things like you did with sewing. You know, you can implement these, and I'm not a witch, but yet I absolutely love the idea of witchcraft and doing these things. Maybe I am. I don't know. I And I love sigils. I absolutely love sigils. Like I am drawn, like I'll go on Pinterest even because there's a sigil board and I'll write different sigils that mean something to me. And I had an idea that I wanted to start a soap company and put like powerful sigils on the soap because when you're washing yourself with the soap, like I don't know, I think of
Oh
these
yeah.
weird things.
No,
I
no,
wonder,
that sounds like a fantastic idea. Um, I'm very much I like sigils. I work with bind runes a lot, which are these sigils made from runes. And again, so this is one of those things where you have identified a type of magic that appeals to you and
yeah,
that you resonate with, and that's amazing. That's what I mean when I talk about witchcraft being personal and individualized.
yeah,
Your
yeah,
magic is going to be so much more powerful and
yes,
so much
yes.
more meaningful when you are engaging in magic that resonates with you.
Yeah, Heidi, you said you use sigils too. I know, isn't that a great idea? We should open up a soap company and put some sigil. I think they would sell. I would buy them. Um,
I I know there are plenty of soap. There are plenty of people out there who make soaps with different herbals in them
yes,
for to do different things.
absolutely.
So essential, yeah, essential soaps would be great.
Oh, I would love to do that. I'm a partner type person. Like I get very motivated when I have a partner to do it with, you know,
Yeah.
like that really motivates me. But yeah, I don't know. Heidi, I don't know. Maybe me, you, Heidi, Rochelle, we could get together and open up a soap company. Gotta love these things. You gotta love them. So what do you do? Well, yeah, obviously you said earlier that you help your friends and loved ones and help them and do spells for them. Do you offer that service to the public as well, or is it just for immediate people in your circle?
I've only done it for immediate people in my circle, mostly just because there are other witches who offer those services, and I don't feel like it is anything that I need to do. But friends and associates know that if they need witchy stuff, they know they can come to me. And if it's something that I don't feel I'm capable of doing, I can help them find a reputable person to work with. I have for myself personally, I'm a horrible anti-capitalist, so that it's hard for me to do things like Patreon. I had a Patreon for a while. I felt bad about charging for access to me.
Oh, did
It's
you?
different. Yeah, it's different for the books because somebody buys a book and they get a physical book.
Yeah.
I just had a hard time with running a Patreon. I am much more wanting. I always want to help people, and so I always feel bad about taking money for that. But that's just me. I do not
Right.
begrudge anybody else who makes money from their craft. I think that they absolutely should. I just personally have never felt
Felt
comfortable with
comfortable.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's perfectly fine. You know, you gotta do you, right? You gotta
yeah.
do I have to laugh at this. Michelle, Hillbilly said that one of his favorite memes was for CBD toilet paper to calm everyone's butt down. Great. That's great. I love that. Yeah, I mean, it's not for everyone. Um, there are some people who prefer to help people, and I mean, I get it that you know, you're spending time, you're spending energy, and you know, you want to charge for a service. I've paid people for services, so I
Oh, I have too.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, I absolutely get that. And you know, I think if you in your heart feel that you would rather just help people, that's a genuine and beautiful reflection of who you are as a person. So, right?
It's yeah, it's just mostly oh hey, some
Is that a
uh
friend of yours?
no, but it's nice to meet you. It's my first time in, so that's cool.
Oh,
Um
Debbie's witchy vlog. Nice to meet you too. I'm so glad you subbed. Blessings to you. Oh, I love when we get new people in here. Thank you
that's
so much.
awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Great.
I feel like everybody has their own strengths, and we work on those strengths. And I'm a horrible salesman of myself, basically. I'm a writer. I prefer to be hunched over my tablet,
Yeah,
uh, typing stuff out. And when you're a writer, you work in a vacuum that aren't you don't know how what you're writing is how it's going to be received until the book gets published.
absolutely. Yeah,
And so I'm much more, again, this is why I like my Instagram, so I can,
yeah,
be in contact with people that way.
yeah.
But yeah, I
Does
just have never
Llewellyn
gotten
have
around to
you
charging.
do book tours and stuff like that? Do you
Um,
go on book tours?
I don't. I do have a book signing at a store called Grimoire Girls at the end of this month. I'm trying to get to more bookstores and metaphysical occult stores to do book signings and to talk to people. I do classes um, on occasion. So I guess that's one of the places where I do charge money is when I do a class, but that's because I always do a make and take portion of it. So it's mostly
Mm,
just to cover supplies and everything like
of
that.
course. Yeah,
Um, but yeah, Llewellyn has been awesome to me. They are a great publisher.
yeah.
Most of what I do though is podcast interviews and interviews like this. Mostly because in the last 3 years I was in Wyoming, where it's hard to get anywhere.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a long drive.
What
Now
state are
that I
you
moved,
in now? What state are
I'm
you in
in
again?
Wisconsin. I'm in
Oh,
Wisconsin
Wisconsin.
now. Yeah. So I'm trying to get out to more bookstores and stuff. I'm always open if people are like, "Hey, my local metaphysical shop is awesome. Here's who they are." Then I can reach out to them. Uh, but most of my interaction comes from podcasts. I like it
Yeah,
too because I only have to dress up from the waist up.
exactly. It does make life easier, and it's a
Yeah,
great way to connect. It's a great way to connect with people and share your thoughts and your feelings and help other people. And, I mean, I think the majority of people these days shut the TV and the news off and they're reaching to podcasts and online resources because they just trust it better. They know it's more genuine. Like
yeah,
this is an absolutely genuine conversation, and people know that. They sense that. They
yeah.
know it's not BS. So what are you working on moving forward, Rochelle? Do you what like you have another book coming out, or what's in line for you?
So I'm taking a bit of a break for 2026 because again, it's been a whole lot of writing over the last 9 years. Um, I want to focus on getting out to events, getting out to bookstores and metaphysical stores, going to like pagan prides. I want to reach more people with my books. Get to because the one best thing about writing, other than the writing, is when I get to talk to people face to face about my books and they buy a book and I say, "Do you want me to sign it?" And they're all like, I love signing my books. It just makes me happy.
Oh,
Um,
sure.
so that's my goal is to focus on 2026 on because I've got, like I said, 7 books, witchy books that I want to get more people to know about. Um,
Mm,
and to just uh, be able to connect in that sort of way and give my brain a little bit of rest before I decide what my next
yeah,
book is going
it's
to be.
important to do that.
Yeah.
You talk about creating a book of shadows in your book.
Hmm.
Um, how would we begin to do that? And can a non-witch do that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a book of shadows is just basically a fancy name for a journal for a witch. Um,
Right.
all you need is to decide what you're going to use to record your book of shadows, whether that's going to be a notebook or a journal or the notes app on your phone. And
Mm-hmm.
what a book of shadows is basically just information about your practice that you want to come back to. So records of the spells that you have cast, tables and information about tools that you use often, or to keep track of, okay, here's a bunch of crystals I have on hand, this is what I use them for.
Mm.
As a non-witch, you could use it as a book of shadows of these are the books I'm reading, and I'm going to put quotes and ideas from those
So it's like
books
a
in here.
journal,
Yeah,
essentially, yeah.
yeah, it
Is
is.
it
It's
the same
basically
as a
journal.
grimoire, or is that something different?
They're basically the same thing. Grimoires are, again, magical information uh, that that are published for other people, whereas a book of shadows is um, for yourself. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I think so
basically a
too.
journal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And it's funny because I have like 3 journals that I bought and I haven't opened one of them yet because how your day gets so busy and then at night you're like, "Oh, I'm too tired to start writing in a journal." I think it's a good idea if you like set aside a time and just say from 10 to 11, I'm going to journal and just dedicate because I really have to do that. I think it's such a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these.
Um, for myself, I get around that by I have a paper planner
Ah,
that I also use as a journal slash book of shadows. So if I'm doing a spell that day, I, write that spell information down in the planner. And then that way I can go back and go, oh, on this day I did this. Have I seen results of it? Or I did this spell. It's similar to this spell. What are the similarities? Where can I bridge the gap? That sort of
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite spell that you use all the time?
Yes, I do. Um, I have, and again, this is going to sound so silly, but when I shower, I make myself a sugar scrub with different essential oils
Mhm. I
because
love them.
that uh, what it does is not only is it for cleansing because the sugar scrub will cleanse, but the oils left behind are protective. And so
Yes.
I'm a big fan of because I have ADHD brain, I'm neurospicy, and I often have trouble going, I'm going to do this thing. If I can work it into my routine, I'm much more likely to do it. So, in order to keep my uh, protections up and constant, I incorporate it into my showering routine. And so I make my sugar scrub. It's got all the ingredients in it. It's actually from my book, The Scent of Lemon and Rosemary, and it allows me to do that stuff that does double duty. So cleansing and protection make me
Yeah.
happy. Again, it's little silly stuff, but it makes sense for what my life looks like. Again, personal and individualized.
Yeah, I love sugar scrubs too, and it's funny, when you're applying them to your body, it almost feels magical. It's like you're sloshing away the old, and letting the new regenerate. It's
Yeah,
very symbolic when you do that.
yeah, absolutely. And I see other people are
Yeah, I'm
definitely
reading
know
some of the
about
comments.
about
Ah,
showers for cleansing.
raking in the shower, Mish. Yeah, that's a great idea too. When you're putting face creams on, like you could focus the energy, I guess, to wherever you want. Oh, I love all these ideas. I do the same with sea salts for the yes, sea salts rock, cleanse the body and the aura. Yeah,
Yep.
that's such a great idea, Debbie. Sea salts make a great scrub too. Like I've
Mhm.
used them in sugar scrubs primarily with some oils. Yeah, that's a great idea. A shower cleanse I recently, oh, let's see what a shower cleanse I recently discovered uses sound.
Yep.
What?
Sound cleansing is awesome because
Oh,
if you cannot do things like do a smoke burn some herbs uh, for whatever reason, sound cleansing is great because then you aren't dealing with your fire alarm going off, or if you have people in your home that are scent sensitive, so you can't burn herbs that way. I
yeah.
have for my sound cleansing when I need to cleanse a space and use sound, I use the song "Feeling Good" by Nina Simone uh,
Mm.
to as my cleansing music.
Well, you could use bells and
Yep.
all sorts of different tools, I guess, to do that with. The music's a great idea. He said, I hum each of the scales, do, re, mi, etc., and they correspond to my chakra point. Wow, that is such a great idea, Billy. Love it. Um, yeah, vibration is cleansing. I guess the vibration in and of itself is cleansing, right?
Yep.
Rochelle?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think we get tied up in this idea that you got to have like a sage bundle to
Mm,
do cleansing, and there's all sorts of other ways that you can do it.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
you find what works for you.
Yeah. Is sage relatively a safe thing to do? It's not, I mean, because I had heard that you need to know what you're doing when you sage. Is
I
that
don't
true or
I don't recommend using sage, and I don't recommend using sage because one, it is uh, it is used very specifically by certain Native American tribes,
right?
and also that uh, it's over harvested. It is
Oh, is
the
it?
Yeah, because a lot of groups go out and harvest it, it is increasingly becoming hard to find. And so I recommend things like rosemary or juniper or cedar,
Mm,
frankincense. Those herbs are just as effective at cleansing. They aren't getting into the problems of your getting herbs that are over harvested or
yeah.
getting into going into stepping in on native indigenous rituals uh, and also they're easier to get. Um,
I'm glad you told us that because I could go in any store and they're selling sage in there.
yeah,
It's like sage madness. Heidi said she puts salt herb flour protection mix. She makes it and puts it in a mesh bag and hangs it in the shower. Oh, that's another great idea. So just hang it in the shower and because I heard eucalyptus too is good for the
mhm,
shower. It's very good for like your sinuses and things like
yeah,
that. But I love that idea, Heidi. What did he
yeah.
say? I actually just smudged my ass a couple of days ago. Cedar and catnip stick. We're going pull out. Oh, the cat. Yeah. That would make a cat go nuts, right? That's
Yeah.
cute. That is so cute. Oh my goodness. It's been such a joy talking to you, Rochelle. I know you're taking a break, but when your next book comes out, we do have to have you back on.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. This has
Yeah.
been a lot of fun. I enjoy talking to people about this because
Yes.
especially people who are
Oh,
interested. Oh,
yeah. And I want to show your website. I always like to do that. Let me get
oh,
it up
okay.
here. La di da. Let me go into share because people put a lot of work into their websites, and I like to give them credit where credit is due. So that's your website. So
Yep.
tell us what we can find on here.
So, there is a lot of articles and posts on information like you have the Witch's Guide to Grounding, the
Yeah.
Witch's Guide to Centering, information on how to work your practice. I have articles on there that I've written for other
Mm.
places. Links to I have a Live Your Magic course that again is you're going to go through the course and learn how to make a plan for creating magic in your life. That's totally free. It's the links there will go. You go through the entire coursework. There's videos and text. Um,
Oh, so this
and
is something that people could watch for free?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
If you go into the different lessons, it'll take you. There's videos. It's up on my YouTube channel. The
Oh, I
videos.
see. I see. Wonderful.
Yeah. So
Oh, I
that's
see. Oh, this is wonderful.
yeah. So I just again I'm want to the home protect magical protection course that goes into it's another free one and it goes into how to set up protection in your house. The various types of protection, it
Oh,
goes into history and all of that. So
and
uh
that's free
please
too.
yep. All of that again, I have a hard time charging for my work.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say, Rochelle, girl, you got to start charging.
I want people to have this information. I want to help people. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
please
so
go to the
wonderful.
website so you can see stuff. And follow me on Instagram. My I can throw it in the chat. I'll throw my oh no, what happened?
Oh, what happened?
Okay, no, I just thought I did something, but it's fine. I will pop in later and throw in my Instagram handle if
Oh,
people want
we
to
can
follow me.
find you. We
Oh,
can
okay,
find
great.
you. Um, Hang on. I'll find you. Oh, wait, I got the link right here. Duh. Okay. I have it in your bio. Hang on.
Oh, okay, great.
Let me find you and then I'll share that. It's important. Here you are. Here you are. And I'm going to share this. Hold on. Share screen, Instagram. So here's your Instagram. Okay, folks, it's at ID for the folks that are listening. IDIORHYTHMIC. Ideorhythmic. Is that right,
Idiorhythmic.
Michelle?
Yep. Idio
Idiorig.
Idiorhythmic, it's a word that means living by one's own life patterns. Uh,
Oh,
so,
yeah, I already am following you. That's
yep.
brilliant. So make
So,
sure that you please follow. Show us some love. We love to be loved. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel because even though I'm on this huge network, I still like to have my own YouTube channel. And I love when people follow me on there. So please just go to YouTube and follow Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Blessings and thank you so much. Yeah, so we will definitely reach out to you and have you back again. If you could send me an email and let me remind me of when your book's going to be released. This way we could schedule you schedule you back in.
yeah, absolutely. The A Witch is it's out now. It came out in on the 8th. So, yeah. And again, if people follow me on Instagram, you can always reach out to me. I in DMs, I'm always happy to answer questions and chat. I try to make myself very um, available.
Available.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
And I could just tell your spirit is so magnetic right through the screen. You're such a giving and loving person. And we're blessed to know you and get to discover you in your book and buy her book, support authors, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on here. This has been awesome.
Oh, and you know what? I did a bad thing. I didn't show the ticker. I got so enthralled in talking to you, but your website is pronounce that again. Idiorhythmic.com.
Idiorhythmic. Idiorhythmic.
And that's where we just were.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were just there. So, folks, you are the best in the chat. I have no Insta, just YouTube. Okay. Well, maybe CS, this might be a great opportunity for you to sign up to Insta because there's so many good people on there and one of them being Raechel. So maybe it would be a great opportunity for you to sign up. And yes, Seuss, thank you so much. We will see you all, you guys in the chat rock. We love each and every one of you. And Raechel, we will be in touch, dear friend. I could call you a friend now.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat, and thank you for having me, Carol Ann. And I look forward to talking to you later. Everybody have a great 2026.
Oh, thank you. And we're going to take your courses and we're going to reach out to you on Instagram. See you soon, dear.
See ya.
Well, that was freaking awesome. This is one of the reasons I absolutely love doing this podcast, meeting people like Raechel. She is just full of love and energy. and such a wonderful person to be able to connect. And our book was, and I have no affiliation to it at all, but I highlighted a whole bunch of stuff that I keep going back to and rereading. And it's a blessing. It truly is. And take our free courses. Goodness. So thank you all. And thank you again, Raechel, for sharing your insights, stories, and the wisdom behind these 13 keys. They've been so eye-opening, inspiring, and packed with ideas that can truly transform the way we see ourselves. And I love that. So I'm going to take a break this weekend and stop talking so much. That is why I'm hoarse. But thank you all again so much in the chat. Heidi, love you dearly. Deb's witchy vlog, such a joy to meet you. Hillbilly, you're a crack up riot. I'd love to have you on the podcast. You really are. You're a wonderful human. Thank you, Mishi. Everybody out there. I adore you all. Thank you. God bless and have a blessed and wonderful weekend to each and every one of you. Bye-bye, guys.